What's up? My name's Tim. This is the Corvus Cast. I was just showing you something that I had developed a couple months ago with a fellow named Eidolon from the Discord. But again, I want to say welcome. This is the Corvus Cast. My name's Tim, and on this show we're not particularly funny. The host isn't really attractive, and we just talk about nonsense stuff, anyways. Got a little music playing for you in the background, so hopefully you guys enjoy yourselves and have some fun. Just number one thing is I want to say thank you to everybody for the patience with me in the last couple of weeks. It's been a little crazy, lots of stuff going on. My father-in-law has unfortunately taken ill, and I've had some other family issues I've been dealing with, so I need to take a little bit of time away to be able to do some stuff and get some things taken care of. So I appreciate your patience, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being around and then picking up the stuff that we do here. So number two is the Discord. There hasn't been a whole lot of new people on the Discord, so if you see this cast and you want to join us, look up Corvus Saber Foundry's Roost on Discord and come and join us. We have plenty of good conversation. We play video games together. We shoot the breeze, talk about builds, and of course anybody's build is welcome. So if you have a Fire Sabers build or a Dark Wolf build or a Saber Trio build, we are system agnostic. Of course, I like to see builds that are my stuff, but I like all lightsaber builds and I take inspiration from everybody's stuff. So you're all welcome. Come on out. Let's see it. Come show us your stuff. I do want to say I spent pretty much the entire day outside working in my yard, so I'm feeling a little parched tonight and a little tired, and I feel like I got rocks in my eyes. So if it looks like I'm squinting really bad or like I sound like crap, it's because I feel like crap, because despite the fact that it was a nice day outside, the trees and everything are just dropping pollen everywhere, and so it's in my eyes and I'm bleeding out my eye holes. So hopefully it doesn't get too bad, and I'll be pretty okay to finish this cast. So the big things to talk about today, tariffs. It's the T word. Nobody likes to see it or hear it. And it's just been absolutely ridiculous the last couple of months trying to figure out how we're going to do things in light of tariffs. So if you weren't aware, all of the stuff that we did back in April timeframe to get the thin necks here was one of those things that I was pushing the factory to get them here before the tariffs hit on the 2nd of May, and they just happened to arrive. We managed to dodge that cutoff time and skipped into the next period, and I decided I was going to play tariff roulette. And one of the things that we had done that had given us a little bit of I guess curiosity was that I went and sourced something locally, and I found a company in my area that wanted to work with me and do this lightsaber thing. And unfortunately, their cost was so high that it was almost easier for me to just pay the tariffs, basically. The 145% tariffs is ridiculous for parts to get them here. But I decided to play tariff roulette, and what I was holding up, showing you earlier, was basically the prototype model for a grenade grip that I designed. This is almost a year ago now. That I keep going back to this design a couple of times, and I decided that I'm going to make it. And I said I was going to play tariff roulette, and so I tried to squeeze it inside of the window here. I found out it was a 90-day window. I found out that we had a 90-day window, and so I immediately contacted the manufacturer and talked to them and said, hey, I want to make some parts, let's do this. And they decided to move forward on it. And while we're still going to take some tariffs, I think it's 30%, unless something changes, we're still taking about a 20 to 30% tariff on this part, on these items. But it's a cost that I'm willing to absorb for the fun of doing lightsaber stuff. So the tariff thing notwithstanding, there's also the let's see here. No, I'm sorry. I was talking about the part. So in this period of time, in this 90 days, I'm basically going to be slamming as much capital as I can into making as many parts as I can, so that you guys have plenty of items in the next year, which is one of the things I was concerned about, was not being able to continue to produce during this time. So me pushing as many parts as I can this way, and trying to really make it an active development, continuing to pursue this development, which I think is going to keep setting us apart in the near future, right? So number one is that new grip segment. Again, I'll show you that. You can see it here just in view really quick. It's an Obi-Wan inspired grip, and unfortunately it doesn't look as good as I would really like it to, but it's good enough that's passable. And the really important piece, and you saw me grab it off of something earlier today, or earlier in the stream here, but it fits shrouds. So it fits all of my shrouds. It fits the accent rings around the outside of it, and that's what I wanted to get to. It's whoops, rest in peace to your ears. It's one of those things that we don't have yet for VHC, which is a shroudable grenade grip, and so my hope is to get that here by I think mid-June timeframe. If everything plays out correctly, it should be arriving around mid-June. And then something I didn't tell you guys about, but you'll hear it here first, is I've got 4 new accent rings that are in development, and tonight I'll show you what those shapes are. And so hopefully you guys like them and you're interested in them. And then I have another set of parts queued immediately behind that, pending what developments happen over the next couple of weeks to keep going. And then July, I don't know what it looks like. I'm trying to figure out what July is going to be like. But this year I wanted to be able to hit pommels, I wanted to hit emitters, and I wanted to hit the thin neck this year. Those are my big ones. And so if we stay kind of on pace with that, I know I got a little wild, but the reason why I wanted to go after these other parts that we had, like that I just got ordered, is because sometimes you just got to strike while the iron is hot, and I can get some relatively low cost parts that have high value that will increase and develop you guys' builds a little bit farther. Whereas something like the pommel or the emitters, because they are like partial pieces, or like, I'm sorry, not partial pieces, because they are whole pieces, and they're a little bit more complex, they tend to cost a little bit more. They use a little bit more material, and so the cost is a little bit higher. And so I'm really going for like bang for your buck, knock it out of the park, finding some parts that are the right fit for the situation that we're in. And so if I have to put off doing emitters, or if I have to put off doing something else to be able to get us more parts, even if they're the same type of parts we've already got, I would rather do that than try and invest a whole bunch of money into something that isn't going to have the same payout, and so it sounds bad, but it's just business, unfortunately. I need to keep the things attainable, and I've already developed some accent rings, so I have an idea on how much they're going to cost. These ones are a little bit more complex, but they're still around the same price as the previous ones. And so it's something that I can predict about what that cost is going to be, and therefore I can really plan for it. Whereas I haven't produced pommels or emitters yet, and so there's still the air of mystery around how much they're going to cost. And so again, it's just business, purely business. So yeah, running through that body segment, which is coming in mid-June. We got accent rings that'll probably be by the end of June or early July, and then in the middle of June timeframe, I'm going to try and release another, or not release, but I'm going to try and develop and push another part to to my manufacturer to get them to generate that piece. So, and so now we're not quite 7 minutes into the cast. I think I gave you guys about 5 minutes of time there at the beginning where I was just shooting the breeze. So I was hoping that there was going to be some more people on. I don't see anybody yet. I saw one person pop in and then pop back out. So just give me a couple seconds here, and I'll pop over to do something else. All right. Got a little bit of music going. Got some stuff playing in the background. Let's see. Today, I think I had some things that I wanted to work on. I didn't get an opportunity to post pictures into the Discord of what I was going to try and play with here, but I was looking at something like, we'll do a little play on some stuff here. Track it down. There we go. Yep, I like it. I don't know how this is going to come out, so we'll see what that looks like. And hopefully it'll be like a fun, I don't want to say accent ring, but a fun component here. So I think I'm going to do an adapter tonight for this. I probably should do like an emitter or emitter shroud. I've really been wanting to do like full diameter emitter shrouds, and it's one of the things that that I feel like philosophically, or not philosophically, like build style is of interest to me, because what I really want to do is, or what I really think is the right way to treat emitters, at least emitters with angles and S-curves, is to treat those S-curve parts as shrouds instead of treating them as whole components, because behind the shroud, or under the shroud rather, you can put that S-curve component, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. You know what? I'm completely remiss. I told you guys I was going to tell you about these. I'm going to tell you about these not adapters. Gosh darn it, the accent bands, accent rings. Oh, those are in production. I'm sitting here clicking on my screen, and you guys can't even see what I'm showing you because I didn't switch the screen over. So it's not even like you guys missed anything, anyways. So I'll go ahead and break this open really quick and show you what I'm talking about. And I saved all of my spaces for the development of these items, so you should be able to see everything without any issues. So number one, here's number two. We'll go ahead and drop this out here if my computer will cooperate with me, and it is. Okay, whoops, that was not the correct one. Go ahead and get that out of there. All right, so this year I was looking over the accent rings, and I said, you know what? There's not enough accent rings. There's just not enough. There's only 8 accent rings, and those usually satisfy some of the stuff that we want. But one of the things that we didn't have is, concave shapes, which is something that I wanted to get, which I've done. And then the second one is technical rings, something that looks like it's a technical piece, right? And so I really wanted to get those developed and out. And so I did a couple of things here. And I'm going to show you here right in just a second, as soon as I get these positioned the way that I want them positioned, because they are not moving the way I want them to. All right, there's that. Okay, cool. I'm going to shrink my face down so you don't have to see my stupid face. Here we go. All right, this is it. So what you see in front of you are the 4 rings that are going into sampling right now. And as you can see, I commented on having some concave shapes. So this shape here actually was requested by one of my customers. His name's John, and he wanted something with this concave dish to it. And I think that it will look really, really good when you start pairing it with something like our concave choke, the choke type 2. So I'm really excited to get that thing developed and get it out here so you guys can see it. I should have, again, samples by middle of July timeframe for these parts to get here, at least for the samples. The other piece here was another that combined 2 concave shapes. I've seen this on some other sabers, and I think that it's a really elegant design that kind of lends itself to a more ornate looking saber with some fancier design elements to it. So I really, really like it. I think it's cool. I believe that it's going to be good stuff in the next couple of weeks. And again, this is treated exactly like all of the others. So it's got that 2 1/4 depth on one side, and I think it's like 4 3/4 on the other, 4 1/4 on the other side, with a 50 millimeter a 50 millimeter shim cert inside of it. And so you have the 2 concave pieces, and this one over here is currently affectionately called the trapeze, or the trapezoidal ring, because it kind of has like a trapezoid. It's not even really a trapezoid shape, but it's like a, I guess technically a trapezoid. I'd have to look at what the polygon is. It's a sort of trapezoid shape, kind of has that 4-piece port. I failed geometry, guys. Just I'll let it go right now. But this one is about the same size as the round ring. I just wanted to have a smaller square ring. And so the smaller square ring is intentional. You know, it's intended to fill another niche inside of the space that we want to work, right? Just to give us a different aesthetic, a different shape, different style to it. And so the final ring was one you guys actually watched me design while we were on the stream, probably last year sometime. I call it the cam ring, but basically it's a straight knurled ring with a 60-degree cut into the middle of it. So it kind of looks like an adjuster type ring for like a camera or something like that. I really like the shape. I really like the design of it. I think that this one's going to be one of the coolest ones that coolest and probably most complex cuts that we've done for an accent ring since starting this. And I've got a couple of more designs that are similar to this, just with different types of knurling, different shapes. I'd like to do kind of a rounded one with some diamond knurling on it. Some stuff. Oh, hey, John, my friend John is on. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on the cast. I appreciate you. I was joking. I didn't fail geometry. I'm actually really good at it. I just forgot what it was. I think of the trapezoid. Oh, you know what? It is trapezoid. I'm a dummy. I was thinking parallelogram for some reason. I'm a real dumb. So yeah, it is trapezoid shaped. That's why I chose that. I knew that all along. It's not parallelogram shaped, but I am really glad that I know what those two items are, because they'll come in handy when parallelogram season starts. So yeah, don't need taxes, but I need parallelograms. I don't know how to do my taxes. Anyways, the cam ring, I'm really excited about this one. Just so you guys are aware, and so you understand, there are 120 of these separations throughout this ring. So it's kind of cool. I didn't hand do it all. I had a tool that did it, but there's 120 of these knurls on it, and I'm going to try to keep that consistent among the parts to the best of my ability. Around 120 feels right for the size that we're going for, which is about a 0.5 millimeter. It's not very big. A very big triangle, basically the wedge that cuts it. So that's pretty cool. I'm really excited about these. One of the other parts that I was working on developing, or that I have developed, came from another customer that decided they wanted to see a profiled CoverTech ring. And I don't know that you guys saw me design this one, but I'm really jacked about it because I think it's going to be cool. I put together a CoverTech, my own CoverTech, because frankly I didn't want to have to buy anybody else's CoverTechs to put on here. So I made my own based on some measurements that I've got, or that I have. Essentially, I just grabbed a CoverTech and ripped off the measurements of it because they're all basically the same. But I got kind of a rounded, nice looking CoverTech. I might add some details on this later or something, but the ring for the CoverTech here, or the hole for the CoverTech, is M4. So if you wanted to use it flat on your lightsaber, you could. The angle of the profile here, not angle, the shape of the profile fits 33 millimeter exterior or external diameter. So you will be able to put it on any other lightsaber. But the ring is really what I wanted to sell here. Is it's set up to accept the CoverTech assembly. Whoops, cancel that thing. It's set up to accept the CoverTech assembly like so, and allow you to position that ring anywhere you want to on your saber, in between parts, or wherever you want to put it. And so this one is a little bit more costly, unfortunately, because of the complexity of the part. It's not fully there yet. I might have to pull that just a little bit. Just because of the complexity of the two-piece part. There we go. That's what I wanted. There, it fits just right. You know what? That looks funny. I'll have to fix that one. I don't like that very much. Just because it's a little bit more complex. It has a lot of angles. It has a lot of crenellations and different things in it that have to be cut. And I was trying to get it as close as I could to one of the other rings so you can pair it. That would be the center cut, or the round bottom ring that's split in the middle. by a 0.5 millimeter or so, or 1 millimeter revolved cut out of it. I'll see if I can't pull that out here somewhere. Where did I put it? Here we go. It is not quite the same size. It's just a little bit bigger. But you can see how the pair would work together. And you know, it's not a perfect match. I would really like to see the CoverTech ring be a little bit more, I guess a little bit more universal across all of them, but I wanted it to kind of fit in some motif or some element. And I think that even by itself, even if you have other rings that aren't the center round ring, or the type, where would it sit if you slap it on your switch segment? So you could put it behind the switch segment. So let me drop a switch segment in here. I'm taking a question from the audience here, from the crowd. Let me drop a switch segment in here, and I'll show you how you could fit this on your saber at the switch if that was your desire. And so, you know, one of the things that people might be interested in is putting it on a switch if that was your desire. So it is a little deep over here, right? On the underside portion. And since this is the top, I'll swing that around. I wouldn't do this particularly on this end because it kind of looks funny. And you'd be covering up your switch. But you could do this and put it on the back side like so. And that would cover up your mounting, or not mounting, but your switch. Gosh, my brain stopped working. It would cover up the elevator screw, right? The screw that pushes the chassis up. Or this, gosh, I can't even talk tonight. The one that pushes the switch up and down in the lightsaber. Golly, my brain stopped working all of a sudden. All right, cool. So there's that on your switch section if you wanted it. It is just a little bit wider, I think. It's no, it's actually the same size. I thought that it was a little bit bigger diameter than the normal ring, the other round ring, but it's a little bit different. You can also pivot that because this can fit anywhere, right? You can shuffle this around the side, right? You can put it on the side of your saber. You can put it any orientation that you want to. I kind of envisioned this to be used on the south end of the saber, so I kind of see it being used with a grip on the bottom of it, right? And so we want a body segment. Let's grab a Type 5. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. I want the switch to move. Let's go. Okay. Here we are. I wish I could navigate this better. I suck tonight, man. I'm so tired. Okay. So this is kind of what I had envisioned for this. Primarily because, you know, there just weren't a ton of options for not drilling into your lightsaber to mount the switch. So, golly, I'm doing really bad tonight. I don't know what the heck's going on with me. Okay, there we go. Oh, I got the axis all jacked up. Here we go. Okay. That's where we wanted to be. How did that get shifted? I think it's the other one that shifted a little bit. Anyways, you kind of get the idea here. Yeah. It's doing it. There we go. All right, it got shifted about such and such, a couple degrees, but here's a really good example of where I would put that, you know, on the end of the saber. Not in line with this, obviously, because that looks silly, but I would put it on the backside so that my switch is facing outward, so that when my hand goes down to touch it ergonomically, I would be able to grab my saber and ignite it and be ready to fight, right? Yeah, kind of like that number. So I would put it on the backside here. And so when it would hang, my hip would be right there, and I'd be able to grab my saber and go and be ready to fight. So that would be where I'd place that. And since it is adaptable and you can put it anywhere you want to, you can put it anywhere you want to. All right, that's coming. That's something that I want to work on and get in. But again, I had made mention that it's a little bit cost prohibitive because it's 2 pieces, and mostly because the ring itself has a lot of detail on it, and so getting it done. It's probably going to be towards the July timeframe. I know that I really want to get that one. Anyways, let me clear this out of here. Dump this stuff out. I kind of made like a small cover tech for it. It's really low profile because the ring adds profile, and so it will hang off of your cover tech just by, I'd say, like 3 to 5 millimeters, and so it'll have some space for your hand to get in and around it so that you can do your thing. Oh man, I got a graph. There's a graph that shows me how many people are watching. That's cool. You guys can't see this, but I'm looking at my YouTube studio and it has a graph of people watching. So, I never knew that graph was there. I never watched it for that. Anyways, whoa, that was close. I almost just deleted that. That's what I wanted to do anyways. Delete it. I thought that I was deleting it for something else. Okay, anyways, so we're now about the halfway mark, and I'm going to go ahead and start working on a Let's Design. So let's play around with this. I got some inspiration from a picture that is on my phone, so I'm going to not be looking at you guys. I'm going to be looking at my phone for a little bit because there's some really cool elements that I'm interested in playing with, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually achieve it or not because it looks... I have no idea how they did that or what they did with it, but we're going to try and duplicate it. Just play around with it and see what happens. And the part that I'm envisioning is a piece that goes in between major components that looks like it is skeletonized. Not skeletonized, but you're looking at the inside of the lightsaber and not the outside of the lightsaber. So it'd be like the 2 pieces, the 2 body segments on the top and bottom are only covering the important elements, and that this piece is a connecting element between. So we'll play around with it and see what we can come up with, and if it turns out something cool, then maybe we'll make it. I don't know. It'll be probably one of those more expensive pieces, I guess. So also, if you hear yelling and screaming and children sounding like murder, it's getting close to the beginning of summertime. My kids are anxious and excited to be out for school, and so they have taken to doing WWE in the upstairs while I'm down here doing stuff. So just be ready. It could be a thing. Could be noisy. Could be noisy. All right. One of the things that we got to keep in mind is the 25.6 interior diameter that we need to maintain. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to flip this again, and I'm going to put that right inside here so I don't forget about it. And if I have to, why did that do that? I put it on the wrong side. Sorry about all the bouncing around, guys. Hang in there. Bear with me, please. Stay on target. We'll get this done. Okay, I'm just going to put that hole in there so I keep track of where that 25 millimeter is because I need it. I need it. So we're going to go ahead and punch this at 28. And we'll play around with some of these other elements here. What I think this is going to be. It's going to be tiny. Let's take it to 5 millimeters. This is interesting. I don't want that right there. Let's do this instead. You turd. Why are you fighting me here? That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted it right there. I want to put it right on that. make it universal. Why? I don't understand why it's putting it on that. I don't want it on that. I wanted it on this other one. It keeps fighting me tonight, guys. I don't know what's happening. My lack of skills with this tool is really frustrating me now. I see somebody made a mention somewhere down here in one of these other places. Where we at? Everyone, the kiosk is on. We will talk about it. We'll talk about it, John. I got a Discord message from my buddy John here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a pattern. We're going to make a pattern. Let's make a pattern. A what? Sorry, my kid's got Go Noodle stuck in my brain piece. So we're going to make a pattern. I want to grab a component, not a component, a feature. I've got that feature. It's that one. And we're going to Italian brain rot? I don't know what that is, but that sounds fun. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit here to get us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to get 8. Let's go to 20. Let's go 32. Bam. 32 should give me 8 per segment here. So that's pretty cool looking, I think. Kind of like that. Yeah, that's okay. I guess it's okay. All right, we got to shuffle this just a little bit. Let's see. This looks a little weird. Not sure exactly how that goes. We're going to take this. I'm going to draw that. I do another circle here. Oh no! Okay, there we go. And then we're going to extrude that. Why did it do that? Nope. This is fun because now you guys get to figure out, you guys get to watch me squirm while I try and figure out how to do this. So what I'm trying to build is some square blocks inside of here that will comprise the rest of the build. And so they're going to fill this space and then come out this direction. I'm going to put a hole in the middle of it and then kind of bevel it just a little bit on this side. And it's going to be about the same level as these. And so I'm trying to find a spot that I like to do this because I have to offset it just a little bit to where it is in between. And then I make another set. So let's do this. Let's try this. Let me make a tangent plane off of this. I haven't done this before. I have done tangent plane before, but I haven't done it in this way. And so what I need to do is make a adjustment to that plane, kind of like so, such that it crosses this plane here. So I need like 5.5. I'm checking for the intersect. I'm sorry. I'm sure that if somebody knows math better than me, or geometry maybe, that goes too far. 5.8. Nope. 6. I was close to begin with. We'll go 5.6. That gives me a really decent plane. It crosses the tops of both of those, so we'll work that. So I'm going to do a line on this plane, and I think that it's oriented on this here. And so I want to find a spot about 2/3 of the way down, and I'm going to draw a box. Put a box, and we're going to bring this out to the end. I don't know how far that is, but we're going to find out. Let's do that. Okay. And join. Nope, I don't want to join. I want a new body. Okay. So we'll put a new body in here as our next component that we're going to play with. And then I'm going to sit here and listen as the earthquake sounds continue from above. All right, let's catch that body. I want that one, and I want to put it on this axis, and I want to do 32 of them things. Bam. Okay, now we have a pretty decent shape going. I kind of like it. I think it looks good. The next step we're going to do is put in a, what is the diameter here? Let's do this. Whoops. We're going to catch this and bring it out. Let's do 29. Okay, now I have a 29mm diameter hole, not hole, circular space here. This is actually a really cool part. I'm already seeing it come to life, and I'm super excited about it. Let's see here. I only want that to come out to, let's do, well, you know what, since we got to do it, let's go ahead and bring it out to here. Okay, wait, what is that doing? It's behaving kind of funny. Okay, I don't want to cut it, I want to join it. Let's join it. Yep, okay, there we have it, join, and that's what we wanted to see. Perfect. Mint. I love it. Okay, we're going to do this again. I'm going to catch the top of this. We're going to line it. And I want to put in one of these numbers. I'm going to take that down a little tiny bit here. Oh, no, millimeters. Okay, and we're going to do another pattern on this one. And that pattern is going to be 32 as well. Circular pattern. I need a feature. I want this feature here, and I'm going to select the axis that I've been working on, which is not that one there, but this one. I can't get it. Here we go. Okay. 32. Oh, cool. It remembered. It remembered, dude. The computer did the thing that it's supposed to do. All right, cool. So now we have kind of the beginnings of what I want this ring to look like, and we're going to chamfer this ring as well. We're going to put a 50mm. No, let's go. I don't want that, so I'm going to have to catch each one of these lines. So hang in there. I will talk you up about this. I think this is going to look stinking cool. Really excited about this part in particular. And I'm just playing around with some different shapes. This is how a lot of the stuff, no, I'm getting sloppy. How a lot of stuff comes to be out of the shop is I just look at the stuff that I want to make and then make it. That's such a stupid thing to say. No, I do a lot of experimenting with different shapes, and this is 100% an experiment just to figure out whether or not I can make something like this. And so I'm actually a little disappointed with the way that is shaping out. So I'm going to change this distance and angle a little bit, and we're going to do 65. Let's do 70. Hey, that looks so good. Oh my god. Oh man, that's good. That looks really good. Okay, I'll stop admiring my stuff here, and we'll press on with whatever we got. Okay, cool. We have that. Let's do a little. I don't know what's behind this. What I want to do behind this. I feel like this looks really cool for like a focusing ring or some kind of like Nito type array. I don't know. I kind of want to do. The problem is I have to think about what my manufacturer can do, right? And so if they can't do an angle, or they can't do if they can't do something, it kind of makes it a little bit difficult. I'm sure that they can. I just have to be cognizant of what is possible with a machine shop. So I know that they can do a lot of this stuff. I just have to make sure that there's spaces of it. Oh my gosh. Why are you doing this? Can I please just have you move the way I want you to move? Bruh. My machine is having a conniption fit right now. Alright. Yep. I like that better. Okay, let's do a... I want to do a ring down here in the bottom, I think. I think that's going to be better. I got a piece of paper that's interfering with my... movement of my mouse. It's making crinkle noises, and it's pissing me off. Alright, so this diameter is 28. I think we made those rings like not quite... Not quite. I'm trying to think. What did we make them? Like 2 millimeters, I think. So I need that circle. I need this 30, I think. Okay, so I got that. Got this. And I did a dumb thing. I made it a cut and not a... How about a beveled edge from the base of the half cylinders to the extant ring? You're using big words. I don't even know what that ring is. Let's do an intersect. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. Let's do a join. Let's just join it. We're going to do a slightly different ring there. I need that to be a little bit bigger. We're going to push that out to 31 millimeters. Okay. Yeah, that's the one I wanted. We're going to drag this. We're going to pull this out. Just a smidge. You know what? That might be what he's talking about. Let's drop this into a bevel. Let's put a chamfer on it, and oh my god. Oh my god. That looks good. The only downfall is I don't know if the machining machines will be able to get into this space in here to do that cut. But I think that it looks really, really cool. I don't see why they couldn't. But I think that they probably could. Ah, he understood. We understood. We were on the same page. We were mind melding. Or however that goes. You know what? I like it. It looks good. We're gonna keep it. I might just pull that back just a little bit. We ride. Yeah, 45 degrees. I think we'll do it, but I'm gonna put a 60 on it and see if it'll do some magic here. No, of course it won't. It wants to fight me. Let's do. For some reason, I just don't think that that looks as good. But you know what? We'll roll with it. Let's do it. I like it. Okay. The other thing I wanted to do was to make an emboss around this so that there was a line on it. But you know what? I'm okay with this. I think this is good. It looks pretty sharp, pretty snazzy. Yeah, I don't want to put too much detail in between all of these pieces. I think that this is a safe spot to be at with this. So I'm going to bring this out to a 30. Oh yeah, it sounds good upstairs. The kids are just getting it right now. I think my wife is probably laying hands. It's a healing technique. I like it. It's funny. Yep. No, not that. Yes. I'm going to put a little roundy bit there. So it looks like it's a piece of something. And we are almost into the stretch here, ladies and gentlemen. We're very close. You know what? I'm going to take that off of that ring here. I'm going to change that. We're going to change that. I want to let go of that ring. Yep, like that. See, big fan. This might be one of the most complex pieces that I have done on this show. And I think we are better for it. Yeah. Got 15 minutes left or so in the cast, and I'm just prattling on. Having a good old time making this thing. This might be a little small. It might be on the small side. I could probably expand it just a little bit, but what I'll do after I get done talking to you here is I'll go grab some parts and I'll stick it together and see what this thing looks like all prettied up with something else on it, right? Kind of like I always like to do on the show when I make a new part. It could be anything, dude. It could be red, it could be white, it could be blue. I'm not good at song. Sorry. At least not that song. At least not those songs. So we'll give it a thread. We'll stick some fancy numbers on it here and skadoosh. I think we're pretty much done with it, dude. I think that looks good. It is one of the more complex pieces that I've done. Yep. We nailed it. Good job, guys. We figured it out. 1 second. Oh crap! I was not talking. I was not talking while live. So sorry about that. I keep forgetting about that. There's a light on the microphone that tells me that it's on too. I think that we are where we're going to be with this piece. As this is an adapter, it's at the 5mm range. So the length of the adapter is around like 7.5. And so I really wanted to make a part. I really want to make parts in like the 5 to 7mm range or 5 to 10mm range now for adapters because we have the shorties. And so this actually fits one of the needs that I wanted for the system. And so we're gonna drop a body piece in here. Let's do a type 5, and we'll pull that in. And let's go at a switch section. Let's go at a switch section here. Uh-oh, I did a thing. I forgot about it. Let's unground that thing and pull it. Okay, that's what we wanted. Whoops. Oh my God. I actually think that it's going to look really good above the switch, in my opinion. But if you just take a glance at it, it looks pretty legit in that position. It would look really good underneath of a shroud too. So let's drag the switch down, and we'll move the body off of it here. And I'm gonna put a something else above it. Let's see, above the switch at the base of a thin neck or choke. Oh my God, 100%, it's there. That's where it goes. That's where this piece belongs. It would actually, I think, go really well up under the emitter, or like at the very top end, right? So this actually serves a couple of purposes, this piece here in particular. Because my switches are so short, it allows us to put about a VHC band worth of material between the switch and the top, I guess, and the bottom of where the emitter would be on the parts, to be able to facilitate fitting a core, specifically the master core inside of it. So as we talk about more of these things, you know, we'll see, or I'll show you what I'm talking about as well, right? If I can, I don't have a master core modeled in here, but I have the master core dimensions modeled, and I'll show you that, or I can show you that in a future video. So we'll go into this extensions and chokes. I want to grab, I think this choke type 1. Let's put the choke 1 on here, and maybe we'll add an accent ring or something into this space. Yeah. Bro, that's spicy. I think I might have hit something really nice here. Maybe some of the next pieces that we do will be a little bit more complex, like in-betweeners, in between the different shapes. But I think you put something up here, or you know, slide it in on the top here and put another piece above it. It could look really, really cool as well. But it's definitely a looker. I think that somebody would really like that piece in their saber. I want to see what it looks like in the middle somewhere. I think if you put 2 of these together on opposite ends, it would give the appearance of like some kind of chamber or some kind of like focusing thing. Let's do, let me do this. Let me dump this. Let me dump these pieces here really quick. We've saved this already. We're not going to save it. I'm going to open up a new, and we're going to go at something here. We're going to take a shot at it. If I can get it to open. Yeah, I'm going to do it. That's what I was talking about. I'm going to put this out here, and we're going to grab a type 1 and another type 1. And we're going to see what this looks like. I don't know what's playing, but that music sounds really good. Oh, it's Ahsoka. It's the Ahsoka tune. That sounds really awesome. I hope you guys can hear it. All right, here we go. We got these 3. We're gonna go find. We're gonna go find where I put that. I got so many different categorizations of parts now. It's silly. Drop a focusing array on thing out here. Shapoopy. And then a focusing array here, and we're gonna swing it. Swing low, sweet true. Oh, sorry. Music is in my soul today, apparently. Oh man, this looks really cool. Oh man, you guys better watch out. You guys better watch out. It's coming. It's coming. This is gonna be the next adapter, I feel like. Let me grab a 3-rib on that thing. You want me to put a 3-rib in the middle of it? Let me do that. Let me go back and get it. Gosh, I saw you. I see you. I see you. I see what you're trying to do. Where did I put it? I gotta find it. Let's get this thing out of here. Get on out of there. Scat. That's a 4-rib. That's a 3-rib. Bro. Man, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, hey, I don't know who this person is. What's up, Brady Blog? New viewer. Welcome, reps. God. Or whatever. Said that plus some accent caps would be cool, even if you made some caps and rings that would fit the interior vibe. So the hard part I think about that with the interior vibe on the accent rings is because they are on the outside. I think that they're like those rings are really made for like making depth on the parts, and so I can add a ring or two into this and show you what I'm talking about. So just give me a second here, and I can demonstrate. I kind of show you the reason why it's a little bit harder to make that interior depth with the ring. Yeah, it's like the accent rings are made to be like bulking a little bit on the exterior side of it, which is intended to create the illusion of depth when there isn't really much, right? It's only a few millimeters of spacing. And so when you start comboing it with stuff like the accent caps or accent bands, you start getting into the appearance of that nesting that a lot of the really big players in the game do with their parts. They put a bunch of different pieces together so it creates like a nested shape, and it creates that depth that everybody likes to see. And so the accent rings were there to kind of help create the illusion of depth on something that, like the VHC parts, frankly, only have like 1 or 2 layers of depth. They're not overly complex. And I don't want to pontificate on something that's going to take longer than 5 minutes to talk about, but yeah. So like let me throw one of these rings on here really quick. That's dev, that's production. Okay. And so let me put on the rev ring. So I have the type 5s that I usually that I really like that work really well for partitioning stuff. So like there's an example of what the rev ring would look like, kind of separating these pieces to create what would be like a power chamber or whatever you wanted it to be. I've got this gapped ring, or like the stop ring. This one here is actually, because of the shape of it and where the ring is located at, I need to make one of these inverting this, but because of where the ring is at, it kind of makes it harder to put it in where you want it the right way. But that it should look something like that, with that separation on it. I think that this would even look good with one of the other like basic no frills rings. And so like I'll pull that one out, drop this off, and you could put on a divider ring that could do the thing, top to bottom. That's not a terrible look, I think. And I'll just grab the basic bevel. This is one of the simpler rings, and even that punches it up nicely. Like, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with any of these parts, to be honest with you, in my opinion. And I do have plenty of them. I could put the new cam ring on, but one of the things to keep in mind is that when you put a lot of technical detail in one space, you kind of overwhelm that area of the piece with that technical detail, and so it draws the eye away from other components, and not just from like an artistic, not just from like an artistic aspect, but like when you just start putting, I think some of these pieces together, it really, the goal is to be looking at one of those pieces, and when you put two big kind of complex pieces together, you kind of lose a little bit. But I still don't think that it looks bad. I don't think that you're going to have a problem with any of it. Would make an epic frame for a crystal chamber expose. Yeah, I actually don't disagree with you on that. I think that it would look really cool. And I don't know what parts they're using. And I say they, what I mean is Vire. I don't know whether their parts have that. I don't know if they do the female piece, but it would look pretty legit on it in that fashion as the transition piece between that item. But I do think that it looks really good in all of these configurations. I don't disagree with the cam ring. I think the cam looks pretty good. If I could come up with another ring, I'd put another ring on there too. If I could come up with another ring in like 5 minutes. All right. Well, I think I'm pretty much done messing around with these parts. Let's see here. I've got a couple other ones that I had developed previously, kind of down here. Here's one that may look okay. Oh yeah, here we go. I gotta find out where that end is at. So here's like a good example of one that's a little overcomplicated maybe for this. I feel like the two pieces together like overwhelm this look, but I don't think that this looks bad. I don't think it at all. You could offset that with some plainer stuff up top and make this like a focal element of your saber. But I definitely feel like it looks really, really good all the way around. I like this part. I like this new part. Let's see what else we got in here. Yeah, none of those. Let's see. Let me see if I can go find the accent bands. Here we go. Let's see. I've got a couple of developments on these accent bands. Let's throw this out here. You guys haven't seen this one yet. Well, I mean, you have. Some of you have. So, wait, that would fit right here. Yeah, like that. Chapow. That actually doesn't look that bad. I was kind of worried about it. That looks pretty good. You know what also looks good? This one. I'm going to show you this one here really quick. I haven't messed around with this one too much more, but I really like this piece. It's got a nice gradual like kind of transition to it. They would look really nice with that bulked up shape, like between parts, like having one of each of these on the top and bottom, right? Oh my god, dude. That looks so good. Oh man. This is the downfall of having one of these programs, is you can literally make anything that you want to make in it, and basically find ways to lose money. Find ways to throw your money at things. No lies, dude. Yeah, chuffed is the word I think I'm looking for. Ooh, it is the seismic charge, dude. Nice play. Do any of the accent bands have windows? I don't have windows in them yet. I do have one band. So here's one that I kind of created, which would be, a play on something that has like not like a window but a cutout in it. So there's that, and then I haven't really gotten to making ones with cutouts yet. But I could grab, let's see, I do have a ring. I have an accent ring. Let's pull that one out. It is, I call it Rally. There it is. So there's this one. because it kind of looks like a rally car. What I think of like the old Camaro rally rims where they had like those oval shaped like bend type ventilation ports on the wheels. I just kind of like twisted it into a ring, and so this one does have the cutouts in it, and so you could technically flip this 180, I think, and yeah, the cutouts would be oriented back that way on it. So you could have something that kind of shows a little bit underneath. So it's not something I haven't considered. I just haven't made them at this point yet. And so once we get a little bit farther along, like I have some larger sleeves that I was working through. So I've got that in a shroud. Yeah, actually, it should be pretty cool. I have, so one of the things that I've been working on is these accent sleeves, and we're running a little bit long here, but I don't want to go too much further. But I've been working on these accent sleeves, which will go basically over top of the 105 millimeter grip. So now we're starting to get into like what is a really complex saber to build with the system. But you got the a straight knurled sleeve, which is the piece that I wanted to use to bulk up the shape, right? And then kind of continue developing this onward as it does the thing. But the idea is in the near future, these parts will be coming. I don't know whether it's going to be this year or next year, but we'll have accent sleeves, which will be a longer version of the accent bands and accent caps. And those sleeves will have a cutout version, basically, that will give you a view of the underneath. Whether or not I choose to mimic the current LGT sleeve that they have to achieve that, you know, I think that I could find some other shapes to fit that. But like you know, in the very near. All right, this is my last request for the night. You guys have good ideas. I'm gonna put a Wren shroud on it, and then we're gonna call it an evening. Where did it go? Shrouds. There it is. Okay. You wanted a Wren shroud. Where did I put them? There we go. A long Wren, high Wren. Okay. I'm not sure where you wanted it positioned at, but that's kind of basically, if you're looking at making an emitter, let me wheel that out just a little bit. Of course. There you go. Nice long Wren shroud on it. The only downfall is that it doesn't have a mounting screw hole on this, but I don't think that that's a problem for you. But basically, you just made yourself a really fancy emitter that I think might be one of the coolest ones that we've seen on here. And I think that, you know, I think that that this actually is a really good segue to explain why explain the power of the alloy system that I'm making here, right? So alloy is designed to be able to come up with really ridiculous setups, you know, and this isn't even really ridiculous. I'm just saying, like, it's designed to be able to be interchangeable and make those parts. VHC is, in my opinion, robust, but it's limited in that it doesn't fully have capability to put stuff like this together. You know, this requires male, male, and female parts to achieve this piece. And I don't think there's parts of this sort of complexity available, you know, to be able to manipulate the way that alloy is going to be able to do. I think that moving this piece up just a little bit. I'm not saying that, like, I'm not saying at all that VHC is failed or lacking, because it's really powerful and it's what got me into doing this, right? But it's just missing a couple of key pieces, and those pieces are the male couplers with detail to be able to do stuff like this. And I hope that they're not watching my videos so that they get the idea to go on. But yeah, this is a super sick emitter, and you know, gosh, I'm already over. I'm gonna get beat up by my wife, and she says stop doing this stuff. But I feel like I should put a switch out here and show something off here. Let's go 2.1. So you actually get quite a bit of emitter depth on this. I'm gonna swap out this piece here and just get rid of it. I don't have an emitter. I have to go dig deep to find the emitter cap stuff. I just want to put this on here to show what that looks like. And I think that basically your emitter would, like the depth of where the electronics would fall would be like right about this line. So you're still looking at about 1.5 inches or so of emitter depth with an emitter cap added on here. So overall, I think that that's a really cool design. I might slide that that adapter piece up the chain a ways for the next round of adapters, and that one's probably gonna be really expensive. I'm gonna be honest with you, because of how complex those shapes are. My manufacturer will probably be really mad at me about that one. Just another close-up look at it to show you guys what it looks like. I might pull these blocks up just a little bit, but they're pretty close to where I want them to be. All right, I think that's enough playing around tonight. I think we're done, but well, thank you. I appreciate that, Ron. I try not to get into hyperbole too much. And I actually really think this is stinking awesome looking, and it would make a really cool, almost like Jedi Killer style saber. If I could make the full overshroud for it, it would be really cool looking. But, all right, I think that's the night. I am tired, I'm out of breath, and my throat is bothering me because I've been outside all day. Anyways, yeah, that's going to be the evening. I want to thank you all for attending and joining me on this adventure of self-discovery and finding the way to build things. I'm going to plug the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, join it. Join it, the Corvus Saber Foundry Roost. That's where we talk about all kinds of things. I'm signing off. This has been Tim, the Corvus Saber Foundry, or excuse me, the Corvus Saber Cast. Corvus Cast. God, I can't even talk right. The Corvus Cast. It's been fun. I appreciate you guys all. Thank you so much. Hearts. Those things. Wait, is it this now? I don't know. It's this or whatever. I'm out. Peace.